Excuse me. Hello there, welcome to my humble little channel. My name is Adam Weir. Now this is going to be a slightly different type of video. Usually I'm talking about philosophy and consciousness and all that, but I want to explore something a little bit different. I want to talk about space. Now I am absolutely obsessed with space. I think it's so fascinating. I love physics, I love maths. Not that I'm any good at it, but it really fascinates me. And one thing human beings have been asking themselves for a very long time is the universe infinite? I don't believe it is. Well, I do, but not in the sense that it has infinite amount of stars and galaxies and planets and all that. So from my understanding and what makes the most sense to me, right, this is just my theory, is that the universe is infinite in size and there's finite matter, right? So an analogy that I came up with is, imagine, so the universe is constantly expanding, right? So we've got, all the galaxies and black holes and stars and nebulas and all that in the universe, and the universe is constantly expanding and everything is getting more further away from each other. It's getting diluted. So think of it this way, right? Imagine you had a glass, okay? And you poured diluting juice, right? You know, the juice that you mix with water to make it more diluted so it's more palatable to drink. That. So imagine you put diluting juice in a glass, right? And imagine everything in that glass, the juice that you've put in the glass is essentially all of the things in the universe, all the physical matter that exists within the universe, right? And then you add water to it, and then it becomes more diluted. So imagine that the diluting juice itself is the universe's contents, God, our higher self, the source of consciousness, us. It adds water to the universe and it expands, and it's constantly doing that. Now, of course, we don't know exactly what's going to happen in the next trillion, billion, zillion years, but the theory is that the universe will eventually become so sort of spaced out, and everything will sort of reach a point where everything is equally spread out, right? So so back to this sort of juice in the glass analogy. Outside of the glass is God, time itself, right? The higher dimension. And then it's constantly adding water to the glass very, very slowly. Well, it's actually really fast. The universe is expanding rapidly, but space is massive, so it doesn't seem that fast. So the universe is constantly expanding, right? So there's finite matter within the universe and infinite space. Well, we don't know if it's infinite, but it must be infinite because there can't just be an ending, there can't be a wall. I don't even think God can understand the concept of infinity unless God is infinity itself, which would actually make sense. But some people believe that the universe is finite in both space and matter, but think of it this way: if the universe was truly infinite in matter, that would theoretically mean if you were to go far, far, far away enough, you would meet an identical version of yourself, an identical version of Earth with all the same possibilities that can happen within the universe, because the universe is infinite, okay? Infinity is not a number, it's a concept. It is unbelievably massive. It's not even massive, it's its own thing, okay? So that's why I don't believe the universe is infinite in matter, because if it was infinite in matter, that would mean there'd be infinite possibilities of things that can sort of spawn into the universe. So from my understanding, the universe has finite energy, infinite space, and that energy is constantly expanding to fill in the void. And that's what the Big Bang was. The Big Bang was that diluting juice, and then everything exploded outwards, and then of course, the universe's program, the coding that God gave to the universe, has been running ever since on a sort of like the universe is, it's like a simulation. I don't believe we live in a literal simulation, but it has simulation like qualities. Like a video game, there's if when statements that tells the computer, the game, what to do if this happens, when this happens. The universe has the same kind of program. The universe has its own code that God written. However, what I'm curious about is that Did did God have a choice in creating the universe the way it is? Does God truly have infinite power? Because let me ask you this, right? If God is truly infinitely powerful, could it make 2 plus 2 equals 5? Think about that one carefully and you might realise something quite interesting. So, yeah, the universe is unmeasurably massive and it's going to. We don't know what's going to happen, you know, there might be a grand reset, it might continue to just slowly lose all of its energy and die out. We don't know what's going to happen. We have lots of theories out there, and I'm just kind of sharing my analogy to kind of prove that the universe is not infinite in matter, but it's infinite in space. But then you ask yourself, is there several universes? Is there universes outside this one? I don't believe that personally. There's no proof for it, you know, so. But it's an interesting idea. What do you think? Stop getting high on YouTube. Start getting high on life. May the universe guide you, which it will. I love you.